Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today I decided I wanted to make fur leg warmers. Now I know what you're thinking, why not just buy them? They're actually not that expensive. Well, I was going to, and the problem is I have really skinny legs, so every pair that I tried on were like really big around the calf, and I'm really short, so not only did they just not stay up, they were like really long. So I had to think outside the box and come up with a new solution. So it was actually cheaper for me to just make some, only because I actually had this left over from a previous project that I did, but these really weren't terribly difficult to make. So I guess if you're interested in seeing how I made these, then stay tuned. This is in fact sped up because it took probably about an hour and a half from beginning to end. Now you will need needle, thread, elastic, this fabric, which I got at the hobby store, and the measurements of your leg, or where you're gonna put this. So I kind of just used myself as the guide to making it versus like measuring and everything. Now this does shed. Absolutely 100% this fabric shed. Here's the elastic that I used. You cannot see it, so it does not matter that I did in fact go with white. And again, just using myself versus measuring tape, only because it was just easier. It didn't really matter to me. And did these come out perfect? No, but for a quick project, I think they came out great. Now, I will say I am listening to music, so at some point I may show you what song I am listening to. It will all depend on the song and my mood. So again, just take the elastic, measure it, and then sew it together. So I'm just hand sewing everything purely because sewing machines hate me. I don't know why. They just, in all my years, I have never actually mastered a sewing machine. So everything I in fact do is by hand with needle and thread. Now, if you have a sewing machine and yours likes you, then you know what to do, because I don't. Just sew this together to where it is closed so it can go around your leg, I guess to say. Now, this was a pretty boring and tedious process. I am using white thread even on the fabric, which you will see. Oh, trying it on. Fit great. So as you see here, I'm just kind of like going to pin it using safety pins, or maybe not. I am just going, I'm still sewing this. Okay. So once I get done sewing this, I will go on with the next steps. Now, this was done, there you see, I was changing probably the song. And by this time, I think people were starting to wake up. So I do kind of like start talking to them, which I don't think you're going to hear in this, but who knows? I don't know how I'm going to end with this whole thing. So I did I double secured it. So I stitched it all, and then I kind of like stitched it even more around the edges to make sure. Now, if you were to wear these every day and everything, I would definitely try harder to do a better job. But for me, I'm not doing this as a daily thing, a daily wear, just to have a little bit of fun. So I am using safety pins versus needles only because I'm clumsy. You will see the fact that I do drop them periodically, and I don't want them in the way. So for me, it was easier to just put my leg on the table and work with it this way. But for you, it may be easier to just sit comfortably and sew them up or pin them. But I wanted it specific to my leg with very little wiggle room. So I did, in fact, it was not the easiest thing to do sometimes, but it worked. And as you saw in the intro, they stayed up no matter what crazy moves I was doing. So this is just a matter of pinning and then carefully stitch, because I know you probably see each and every time I prick myself. So this was like a lot of blood, sweat, and tears type of thing. Now, I'm using white thread, even though it is a dark fabric to say, but because it is fur, you do not see the stitches at all once it is complete. Even along the top where I did not do any fancy liners to this, nothing. I may go back through in the future and do it, but for right now, I really did not feel like it. Oh, and see, just listening to music, trying to get the process to go by, because it was a long process. Well, a long process in the fact it was like an hour and a half. But as you see, I am just literally on my leg stitching through. So if you do this way, be super careful not to get your leg. I think I only got my leg once in the whole process, but I got my fingers several times. But again, this is like the bare minimal of skills that I have is sewing. So it is what it is. And literally for me, this was the easiest way to do it. Propping my leg up and just keeping it on me. Now flipping it inside out, I do check. It is still shedding like crazy. But as you see, the white is on the inside. You cannot see it at all. And because I knew I was taking it off and on so much, that is why I used safety pins versus needles. I'm clumsy. There's just a lot that I don't do very well when I'm in a hurry trying to get projects done. So it was just way easier for me, having to take it on and off and measure. Safety pins work great. Now I am stitching the fur lining shut, which, by the way, once you stitch that shut, you do not see the crease at all or the seam at all. This fur was amazing. I know I got it at the hobby store, but it was so long ago that I can't tell you much more, only because I originally bought it because I did a Monster Book of Monsters a long time ago, and this is what I used for it. And I had like a perfect amount left. So as you see, I am just like doing a quick stitch down the side, trying to make sure that I double stitch at the edges, or I just go back and forth a few times, go this way and that way, just to make sure I get it all nice and done and stitched up really well. This was just really like a mock, because if you can't tell, this is a dark brown fabric or fur, whereas the ears that I have, oh look, there you go, that's what I'm listening to, are black because I do a black cat, and I do like a tannish cat. But since I wasn't expecting this project, whatever you want to call it, to actually work, I went with what I had. Now, I do plan on doing more that actually match the ears that I have. And I may have just enough fabric left over to potentially make a set of ears and maybe wrist cuffs for these leg warmers. And see, perfect, love it. Now we are on to the second one. Now, there we go. That's what I'm listening to, so don't mind me at all. This is what how I have to do things to stay focused. Now, I am just using the extra cutout piece that I used for the first one and folding it over to make the pattern for the second one. Again, made such a freaking mess. I think I will show the floor when I am done with this video, only to show you the absolute insanity. So again, I am just going to pin the fabric to the elastic using safety pins, using my leg literally as the guide. So don't mind that, because however the process works for you, that's how to do it, because it is important for you to get the process done your way, since you are the one doing it. And this is just how it worked best for me in my dining room using my own leg. And that's why I cannot share any measurements, because we are not the same. And that's okay. Now, would it have been easier to just buy some? Yes. But I like the idea of customizing them to specifically fit my leg, because I do not see the point in spending so much money on something I'm going to have to turn around and basically do this too. So it was just easier for me, and it gave me something to do and put some skills to the test. And that is honestly my biggest takeaway from all of these little projects, is the fact that it keeps me learning new skills and improves on the skills that I currently have, to see what can I actually do with a needle and thread. Can I do these things even? Which, by the way, yes, I can. And probably with a little motivation, so can you. Because this really was an easy project. Slug. Okay, so now I am just situating. Here's the next song. So just stitch along. Like I said, it is a tedious process of just stitching, but honestly, if you're sewing, you know this, especially if you do it by hand. Now, I will say I did not go through, it may look like I go through a lot of, having a conversation with my kid, a lot of thread, but I really didn't, and I did not feel like doing too long of pieces, because then it was just going to get tangled up as I was working. But yeah, now everybody is officially awake and coming in and out, so you can see shadows. You kind of see me having a conversation about my project, but I'm showing off the first one because it came out so much better than I expected. Because honestly, I did not expect this project to actually work. I completely, 100% doubted myself, but I still did it, and I was proven wrong. Now, it is just stitch. I'm not sure what I'm actually, or how I'm actually doing it, because I have zero actual knowledge when it comes to sewing. I just kind of just needle, thread, and loop it around till things stay shut. So now I do not put it back on. I don't know what I'm doing there. I was getting messages and all kinds of stuff, but that's okay, because we're going to ignore a lot of that. And now I'm just, oh, there's the next song. So what is your favorite kind of music? I was just going with whatever came up, I guess to say. Now, and I figured I would just share it with you on what I was listening to, how things were going. You know, if we were hanging out together, I would not have had that AirPod in, I would have had it, on my phone so we could just hang out and listen to the music together. There we go. That shows you how fast I have actually sped this up, because these songs are not this short. But let me know, what kind of music do you like? Do you agree with my music choices? Or should I have listened to something else? You tell me. Now, this one was so interesting to do. As you saw, there was no pattern. I just used myself. And you saw very minimal things. Needle, thread, pair of scissors. Unless you rip the thread and there goes another song. But it was a very simple process. Now, if you decide to make this, let me know in the comments below. If you've made it this far, consider hitting the like button. I don't know. Maybe subscribe. Not really sure. Up to you. I'll leave it all up to you. You know what you want to do. I don't need to tell you, do I? But I don't think I did an outro to this. Ooh, another song. This one's a good one. I do like this song. I like them all. That's why I'm sharing them with you. But what did we think of this one? Let me know in the comments below, and have a good day.